So, when was this universe created? When will it be destroyed? Now I've heard a lot of talk about 2012, the world's going to end. Not according to our Vedas, so you don't have to worry. Okay, so Brahma's lifespan is what determines the age of this universe and how long it will exist. Brahma's life in celestial years, which is very different from earth calculations, is 100 years. 1 year Brahma is 360 days. And so he has 36,000 days in 100 years. You can do the math. 1 day of Brahma is 12 hours, and his night is also 12 hours. Now, in Earth years, let's look at what that is. 311 trillion years equals 100 years of Brahma. So you can see we have a very different clock in celestial world and the material world. So that means that 1 day of Brahma is 4.32 billion years, and his night being of equal length, 4.32 billion years. So 1 day is the period of creation, 1 night is the period of pralaya. So let's look at 1 day of Brahma. So that is 4.32 billion years on the earth, 12 hours of his time. How much of that time has gone by? In 1 day of Brahma, 1.972 billion years of this particular day of Brahma have passed. And how many are remaining? 2.348 billion years are remaining in this 1 day out of 36,000 days of Brahma's life. So even for this 1 day, see how many years we have to go. So 2012 is not the magic number. Okay, at the end of that 1 day or 12 hours of Brahma, we have Kalp Pralaya. That's a mini Pralaya. Small. It's not the end of the Brahman. It's a cleanup for 12 hours while Brahma sleeps, and I'll tell you what happens during that time. The heat of the sun begins to increase, and the sun grows in size, and the polar ice melts. We see that happening now, doesn't mean that the end is coming. The vegetation burns because the earth becomes too hot. The oceans evaporate because the heat is too intense. Stormy weather comes. No souls can survive this, so the earth becomes uninhabitable. And the sun becomes a dwarf after it consumes all of its fuel. Science knows this. They talk about the sun becoming a dwarf. This process occurs over 2 billion years. During the night of Brahma, while he's sleeping, he's going to sleep for 4.32 billion years. So half of that time, the sun is shrinking. Then what happens? The sun revival begins. And that takes another 2 billion years, while Brahma is still sleeping. So for 4.32 billion years, this process is happening extremely slowly. So it begins to grow back to its normal size, its energy is renewed. This has happened 18,000 times since the beginning of the creation of this earth planet. 18,000 times we've had Kalp Pralaya. There's no life in the Brahman anywhere. The souls, as I mentioned, they enter into the body of Brahma, and they stay there for 4.32 billion years. That's the length of Brahma's night. Now, Brahma's total lifespan, we just looked at 1 day. So out of 100 years, let's look at the time. 100 years of Brahma's life is 311 trillion years. How much of his life has already passed? 155 trillion. How much is left? 155 trillion. So we're at exactly the middle point in the lifespan of this earth planet, in Brahma's lifespan. We're actually a little bit past, but there's more details later. So then what happens when Brahma's 100 years are over? That is called Prakrit Pralay. And we have this whole Brahman. It dissolves, enters into the body of Brahma, along with all of the souls. Vishnu. Brahma's life is finished. All the celestial gods' life is finished. Our life is finished. But our soul remains. Our soul is eternal. So our soul enters into the body of Vishnu during that Prakrit Pralay. And then what happens to us? We take birth in another Brahmand. Another Brahmand is created in this endless cycle. Why do we have all this creation? What is the point of all of this? To give the souls a chance to find God, to understand God. That's the only reason God graces us with this human life. Because it's only while we're in the human form that we have a conscious mind, we understand right from wrong, and we can make a decision whether we want to follow the material path or follow the spiritual path. And God is hoping for us, we will follow that spiritual path, we will reach Him, and will be liberated from this Mayic existence, go beyond the material realm into the divine realm forever. That's the only reason for all of this creation. To proceed towards God, and God makes this opportunity available to each and every soul living in a Brahmand. And if there's a Brahmand, billions and trillions of light years away, the same God is there. The same Krishna is there. The same Vishnu is there. The same Shiv is also there. Because there is only one God in all of this creation. Only one divine power of God. Okay, this is very fascinating. How does this cycle of time move? Very precise. The calculations are in the scriptures, and astronomically can be calculated precisely to the second. And people have done that. So let's look. There's 4 yugas. Kali Yuga, which is the age which we are presently in. It's 432,000 years in length. The next Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and it's double the length of Kali Yuga. 864,000 years is how long that Yuga will last. Treta Yuga, 3 times the length of Kali Yuga, 1.7 million years. Satya Yuga, there's a wrong figure there. Okay, so Satya Yuga is 4 times the length of Kali Yuga. So twice the length, 3 times the length, and 4 times the length. You add all of these up, 4.32 billion years. Million years. For one cycle of the 4 yugas. And this has a name. It is called Chaturjugi. Now, there are 71 Chaturjugis. Those are 71 circles representing the 71 times that those cycles have gone around. That equals 308 million years. That's called Manvantar. There's 14 of these Manvantars, which equals 4.32 billion years. So what does that equal to? We know that figure. 1 day of Brahma. Or 1 day of Brahma is called a Kalp. It's also equal to 1 night of Brahma.